The best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
You're about to play a game that we love.
Yay!
Oh, it's always a good one. We know what this is.
Oh, yeah.
We play a clip, and you got to tell us, is this a story about a little kid or a drunk adult?
Mm-hmm.
We've all been both. Some of us have been drunk kids. Some of us have been little adults.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Recently.
Who is contestant number 1 today?
A guy with a really ridiculous first name of Steve.
I don't trust him. Steve, where are you from, Steve?
Bloomington?
Bloomington works. Are you a fan of the Foo Fighters, my friend?
You bet.
All right, I do bet, and I bet you are. Let's do it. It's time to play Little Kid or Drunk Adult. You know what we're doing here, right, Steve?
Yes.
Right on. Good luck, sir.
All right, Steve. First up, we have Herb here with a scenario for you.
I accidentally kicked my grandma in the crotch.
Ooh, Herb accidentally kicked Granny in the crotch.
Oh, I hope it's...
He crotched Granny. Yeah. Was he a little kid, Steve, or was he a drunk adult?
Tricky right off the bat. I'm going to go with little kid.
I was a little kid.
Oh, thank
My
God.
grandma was big into karate, so she tried teaching me some moves one day. You know, she was showing me how to do a front kick. I really started getting into it, just get my reps in. And one day, I didn't realize Grandma was walking right in front of me. Boom! I accidentally kicked her straight in the crotch.
Oh, man.
I was a very large 12-year-old kid at the time, so let's just say Grandma was really feeling it. In her pubic area.
Betty White said those things can take a pounding. All right, Steve, right out of the gate.
Land sakes.
You guessed right. All right.
I just want to hear the story of the drunk dude who kicked his grandma in the crotch and see how well that went. Oh, my God.
Yeah, murdered by the rest of the family. All right, Steve, great start. Here we go. We're going to turn you over now to Tammy.
I took a bowl of soup and poured it in my dad's lap after a fight with him.
Man, we're just assaulting our elders this morning. Steve, Tammy poured a bowl of soup on Dad's lap during a fight, but as a little kid or a drunk adult?
Drunk adult.
I was a drunk adult. He told me that he was leaving my mom for an exotic dancer, and I got mad and took his very hot clam chowder and dumped it in his lap.
Okay, Grandma did not deserve to get kicked in the crotch, but I think Dad had that one coming.
He had that one coming.
Fair enough.
You
All
don't. By the way, it's. Does it even matter that it's an exotic dancer? Not necessarily, but it certainly adds to the fun of the story.
It does, and for some reason, I think it does. For some reason, probably mattered to me. I don't know.
think it does. It just pours salt on the wound.
Yeah, he didn't leave her for an attorney, an upstanding citizen, even her best friend, an exotic dancer.
From now on, I'm not going to say pour salt on the wound anymore. I'm going to say, oh, that just pours chowder on the lap.
That's good.
Yeah.
Look at you, Steve, 2 for 2. I mean, you could check out right now and
Steve's
probably win
rolling.
this game, but let's try and get the rare 3 for 3 if you can here, buddy. This is Taryn.
I smashed an earthworm into my hair and started to cry about it.
All right, she smashed an earthworm into her hair and started to cry about it. Was she drunk or just a little innocent kid?
Oh, boy. I'm going to go with a little kid.
I was a little kid.
Wow.
In third grade, this boy Chris, who I had a crush on, threw an earthworm into my hair during recess. All of my girlfriends started screaming, so I hysterically started to grab at my hair while accidentally smashing the worm. And Chris didn't get in trouble because I ain't no rat.
Oh,
wow.
That's
ain't
love
no
right
snitch.
there. No.
Steve, I got to tell you, this is the white buffalo of the KQ Morning Show. 3 for 3 on little kid or drunk adult is almost unheard of. Very well done, sir.
Yeah, you got some bragging to do today, buddy.
Man.
You better be texting all your friends now. All right, Steve, hang out.
You could not have done better, sir. Tony, who is contestant number 2?
Up next is our buddy Michael from Hastings.
Michael, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're great, thank you. You a Foo Fighters fan?
Absolutely, I am.
Excellent. Little kid or drunk adult, you know what we're doing here, right?
I sure do.
All right. Well, Steve went 3 for 3, which is really an extraordinarily rare accomplishment. So you got your work cut out for you, brother. Good luck.
All right, Michael. I don't think we've ever had a tie 3 for 3, 3 for 3. Wouldn't that be something this morning? No pressure, Michael. All right, here we go. Karen.
I called 911 because my pizza from Little Caesars never came.
Oh, pizza never came from Little Caesars, so she called 911. That's not too outrageous. But was she a little kid or a drunk adult?
I'm going to go with a drunk adult.
I was a little kid.
Oh, no.
I thought 911 could help me when Little Caesars failed to deliver my pizza. So my mom was working, and it was in the summertime, so I had to feed myself. And when cops came to my house, they yelled at me and said I was stupid for doing what I did. And I didn't even get my pizza.
Oh, no pizza pie.
Well, Michael, you get to go to the Anoka County Fair and take 3 friends, but let's play this out just for entertainment
I'll
purposes.
just say this, for what it's worth, Michael. I full-on assume that was drunk adult as well.
Me too.
Yeah, the
Man.
Little Caesar. That was a tough one, yeah.
All right, Michael, here's number 2.
All right, this is Weston.
I tried blowing up my neighbor's kumquat tree with fireworks.
Oh, well, that's fun. You got the word kumquat in there this morning. He tried to blow up his neighbor's kumquat tree, answering the question, do kumquats grow on trees, with fireworks. Was he a little kid or a drunk adult? Michael?
I'm going to go with a drunk adult.
I was a drunk adult.
Yeah, sure.
It was the 4th of July, and my neighbor called my wife fat after a dispute about parking in our driveway. So I decided to try and blow up one of his kumquat trees with some fireworks.
Yeah.
It did not work, and I got arrested.
Well, I mean, you're standing up for your wife. No one's going to fault you for that.
Something tells me you were not the only guy drinking that night.
No, I don't think so. Michael, you ever had a kumquat?
I don't think I ever have.
I don't think I ever have either. We've got something to do this weekend. All right, here you go. One more for you, Michael. This is Nicole.
I got caught by the water police going number 2 off a boat.
Okay, so the water cops caught her going number 2 off the boat, dropping one into the lake there.
Wow.
Was she a little kid or a drunk adult?
Wow, that's really tough. I'm going to go with little kid.
I was a drunk adult. I had to go number 2 really bad, but one of my friends was seasick, throwing up in the only bathroom. So I dropped my pants and went poo off the side of the boat. We were at Peanut Island, and unfortunately the water police saw what I was doing and arrested me for public intoxication and indecent exposure.
Oh.
That's an arrestable offense?
I wouldn't think so. But there you have it. I guess no pooping off the boat. Yeah. Public indecency.
Where's Peanut Island?
Peanut Island is in Florida.
Okay, that's down in Florida.
It's in Palm Beach County. I would have thought the word that came to mind when I heard that was simply Ozarks. I just thought that's straight up Missouri lake life right there. But no,
I thought Lake Minnetonka.
Okay,
it's Big Island out there. Yeah.
A couple of sexy gals that'll vomit and poo. And,
I had a buddy that did the old jump into the water to go to the bathroom, and he had to drop the log, and he warned everybody. And someone came swimming up behind, and the log floated right up and bumped them in the chin. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, turned to the chin. Yeah. That happened in Lake Minnetonka.
Where's your camera?
Yeah,
so much for the purifying waters
of Lake Minnetonka.
Jeez,
he was topless.
Michael, you went 1 for 3, but brother, that was a difficult 3.
Yeah.
And as our runner-up today, you do have a 4-pack of tickets to the Anoka County Fair, July 23rd through the 28th. Enjoy that. Steve, our big winner, not only do you get the Foo Fighter tickets, you get to say, I went 3 for 3 on Little Kid or Drunk Adult. Very, very hard to do. Congratulations, sir.
All right, thanks.
You got it.
It's like a hole-in-one. I think he owes everyone a drink.
Yeah, I think so.
The best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
Wild turkeys, there's plenty of those bad boys in this part of the world.
Yeah.
But I don't see them that often. I'm still blown away by the fact that I see bald eagles all the time. But wild turkeys, I'm not seeing too many of. In Boston, Massachusetts, a large urban environment, hardly pastoral.
All right.
A woman was surprised to walk out and see her car seriously damaged, parked on the street in front of her house. Her car looks like a series of jilted drunk dudes keyed it overnight. Like it's just scratched to death. And there was a note on her windshield from a neighbor, and the note said, hey, I just watched and recorded a massive turkey attack your car for over 15 minutes.
Why?
Sorry you were the target of this turkey rage. And sure enough, the neighbor has video of a turkey just going to town on the side of this woman's car.
Turkey rage.
Now, people say turkeys see themselves in the reflection on the window, and they attack. They think because their brain is the size of a dime?
Yeah, smaller, I'm sure.
But this woman was shocked to see it's not an easy fix. These are deep, dark scratches that are not going anywhere anytime soon. When a turkey attacks your car, you just got to laugh. I mean, there's nothing you can do, or you can say to the neighbor, Do you think about doing anything other than recording this 15-minute vandalism from this bird?
Don't know much about the neighbor, but probably doesn't have a lot of experience with large birds and thought, and that's what everyone does now. They record things instead of intervening and helping out more often than not. But maybe they were a little freaked out. I don't know why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But here's the young lady whose car was attacked by the turkey.
All sides of my car were messed up, like completely scratched. We were already a little out of it. Saw the note, was like, oh gosh, someone hit my car. It says, I just watched and recorded a massive turkey attack your car for over 15 minutes. Sorry you were the target of this turkey rage.
Yeah, you know what? You've got an app there on your phone. Download like a coyote sound effect or something like that. See if you can't send that turkey packing while it destroys my vehicle. And you're right. It was probably a reflection thing because, turkeys are idiots. But maybe don't spend a lot of money detailing your car and getting a nice shiny wax on there.
How much damage is a turkey really going to do to you? I mean, if you walk up to a turkey, let's just say you pick up a Little League baseball bat.
Yeah.
You can take care of that damn thing, can't you?
Hell yeah.
I'm not suggesting people go around clubbing turkeys, but if it's attacking a car, if it's attacking a person, we hear these stories about now, this is my ignorance speaking. I've not dealt with wild turkeys mono turkey in my life. Apparently they can hurt you, I suppose. I mean, they can beat the hell out of a car. I guess they can do the same to you.
Yeah, I know we've been charged by turkeys on the farm, and I know you give a little ground, but it was more of kind of a laughing reaction. I know geese have those spikes under their wings, right there in their armpits.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's what they're there for, to kick ass. And you get nibbed by one of those, and that's... that can create a little wound, I guess. It's just kind of a freaky thing. But, yeah, I'd be ahead. I might give ground to the garage while I grab the snow shovel, but I'm coming back armed.
Well, sure.
Here's a wild turkey shutting down an entire mobile home park.
Goes up my stairs and tries to get in my house. When I leave in the car, follows me in my car. It gets on the back of my husband's truck and follows me. It rode to Chipotle with me one time. I have to carry my broom and my water bottle and my golf club with me everywhere I go.
Like, we can't have people over. We can't have a barbecue.
The kids that walk to the bus stop every morning, I have to come out and help them. But now they're smart and they carry sticks.
Yeah, okay. Now it's time for the 12 gauge.
Okay,
or the baseball bat or whatever you have. Turkey's got to go.
By the time it's going to Chipotle with you, you got yourself a problem. On the KQ Talking text line 651-989-ROCK, we just got a text. A turkey broke the window out on my garage last week. What in the world? And we've got a call. Michael from Monticello. Michael, good morning.
Hey, how's it going? A number of years ago, I was coming back from a friend's house in Wisconsin, and I hit this storm. I had this old Plymouth Colt beater, and it fried the computer on it. We found that out later. Anyway, I was in this storm outside of Colby, Wisconsin, out in the country, and I just slept in the car. It was like 3 a.m. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? I woke up, and the car is surrounded by turkeys gobbling at me, flaring out their feathers. Like, what the hell is going on here? And I went to open the door thinking they'd run. No, they came at the door. They're attacking the door. And I was sci-fi horror movie attacking the turkeys. So I rolled down the window, and I was flinging water out. I had a case of water bottles, and they eventually left. But I was like, what the heck? I wish I had back then we didn't have cell phones with cameras.
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't believe it. So that's my big turkey story.
That is in fact a big turkey story. Thank you for that, Michael.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm on my way to River Falls from Cello to do some work through Home Depot. I do tile, and anyway,
right on.
Great listening to you guys.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks for keeping me going on the road.
We appreciate it.
I said Monticello. It's a habit of the years. The one I know is Monticello, and but Monticello, I apologize.
No, not at all. I mean, it's it's a big bird. Let's be honest with you. And, you can sit here and talk tough, but so in that situation, I get it. If it's terrorizing my house and my kids are carrying sticks out to the bus, the turkey's going to be gone pretty quick. I'm coming back with some firepower. The turkey's going to go. But yeah, I suppose if you've got a whole bunch of turn your back. Crazy bastards. Here's a man said he was attacked by a turkey during
Next
mating
thing I know,
season.
it really fluffs its feathers up and gets big, and it starts coming towards me. And my first thought was, I'm going to get big and maybe scare it off. What do I know? It just keeps coming, so I turn and just run. And I quickly look around to see if any of my neighbors are seeing the idiot being chased by a turkey.
It's best to keep your distance for your own safety and for the sake of the animals, too.
Yeah, screw the animals. But, yeah, maybe just, it depends. Do I have my boots on? Because maybe I could put the boot on it.
They take down one, aren't they going to come back for revenge?
So that's the thing when you get a whole bunch of that, right? Exactly. I don't know. The turkeys, I wonder if they have those little flogging prongs under their wings. I don't know. No one was ever hurt out on the farm, but yeah, Shane, my cousin, was flogged by a goose one time, and they cut him up a little bit on his back there because, they had those stupid ass spikes under their wings.
This is the text that just came in. Hey, knuckleheads. Male wild turkeys have spurs. They won't kill you, but they'll tear you up. Gorman better be well armed and quick if he thinks he's taking one on. Okay, fair enough.
Screw it.
That's
I grew up, I've been wild turkey hunting, and I get some turkey. Like I said, yeah, it's a wild animal. It's coming at you. But to that caller, I would say if you had a turkey terrorizing your neighborhood and you were afraid to leave the house, your kids couldn't go to the bus stop, you know what beats a spur? A 12-gauge round.
Wally texted, do not approach a turkey that's already pissed. That thing will destroy you. And then he sent a photo. This is at my house. They're everywhere. 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's a dozen and a half turkeys in his yard. Holy crap.
Come on, guys. Can we win a war anymore? Jeez, we're losing to the turkeys.
It's all about the turkeys.
Yeah.
KQ Talk and text line 651-989-ROCK. Nathan, good morning, sir. Nathan, you with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right, what do you got, brother?
So about 10 years ago, I was living in Ham Lake, and I walked out in my garage, and there's a big hole in my sheetrock inside the garage. I walked out behind the garage, and there was a giant hole in the garage behind my garage, and all that was laying there was a big turkey feather.
It's a sign.
I have no idea why a turkey would fly into the back of my garage or whatever.
They're not bright. They're not bright
That's
animals.
what happened.
Yeah.
He just wanted you to know this could have been you. This hole in the wall could have been you.
Maybe it was your neighbor shooting a turkey cannon at you.
Could have been. You never know. Thanks, Nathan. We appreciate it. Here's another text that came in. I'm a turkey farmer. Try getting hit in the face or nuts by a 50-pound turkey. Good gracious.
Yeah. Oh. Don't forget to wear your cup when you go out and feed the turkeys.
Man, you learn a lot around here in a
it's
day.
a big bird, That's... I just like to think that we're on top of that that food chain. I just like to feel like we're above them. I just had turkey yesterday. It was delicious.
To your point, Zep, this just in on the text line. A Louisville slugger, and we're having turkey sandwiches.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Yeah. I know easier said than done. We talk about wildlife, right? Guys are tough. We think we can take things. Like I said, I'm not sure I could take a gerbil. They're mean. Once they get wild like that and they get crazy. So a turkey's a big bird. I get it.
Well, yeah, man. You always see the footage of the little chihuahua scaring off the black bear and stuff in the backyard.
Right, yeah.
It's all about those things turn on you. You're like, I can probably beat this guinea pig in a fight to the death. But short of that, I'm just going to be annoyed, and he's going to chew my fingers, and I'm not going to like that.
Although yesterday, didn't we have the story? A guy punched a grizzly bear in the mush.
He did.
Yeah. A
right
sow
in the
and a
nose.
couple of cubs.
There's another bird that's wreaking havoc in Dorset, England, on the southern coast of England. There's a shop, a convenience store, and over 6 years, one particular seagull that they call Steven Seagull has made off with over 30. In the last 2 months alone, this bird has made off with 30 bags of potato chips. And it's been going on for 6 years. This seagull comes into the store. It waits for a customer to open the door and then runs in, grabs it, puts his head around the corner of the door, nicks a packet of chips, and then flies off with it. This seagull particularly prefers the barbecue chips.
Who doesn't?
This is pretty great, and the owner of the store was interviewed, and he's like, "No, we have everyone that comes into the store sees this guy do it. He's not shy. He completely knows what he's doing. It's very daring and it's annoying." But the shopkeeper at the end of the day said, "Well, what can you do?"
Well,
what are you going to do?
Well, something like that, if they're stealing a bag of chips, I mean, that almost becomes a tourist attraction, doesn't it? Now I want to go down there and see this seagull
That's what I'm saying.
lift a bag of chips.
It's got to be good for business. Tina, we've got Tina on the KQ Talk and Text line. Good morning, Tina.
Hi.
What do you got for us?
Pardon me?
Go ahead. What do you got?
I grew up on a hobby farm, and we had, the three main birds, chickens, geese, and turkeys. And when I got off the bus, my older brother, being older, had much longer legs, could run faster than me up the driveway.
Okay.
And he would lock me out of the house, so I couldn't get in. And they would come up onto the deck, of course, after me. And getting pinched by a goose is kind of worse than a turkey.
Yeah.
They tear into you, but they have hooks on the tips of their wings.
Yeah.
So when they're flapping their wings at you, they tear into you as well, not just their feet and beaks. So I would not take one on as an adult, knowing the terror they gave me as a child.
Yeah, no. In fact, when there's small geese like that, goslings, you cut that out. You get in there with a pair of tweezers and you snap that little hook, that little spike out of there, so they can't flog you. And not everyone does that on their farms, but
we didn't do that.
Yeah,
even knowing they terrorized us up the driveway, my dad never did it.
Oh no! I mean, my cousin Shane got flogged by a goose. I think that might have been a wild one of the honkers, and it got him good. I mean, he took some nice gouges out of his back.
Did you ever think about taking a ball peen hammer to your brother's foot?
I would have
slowing him down a little bit
as you sprint past him and he's hobbling along on his crutches.
What kind of monster is your older brother letting you get attacked by geese like that?
Right.
Unbelievable. You guys get along now, or is he still just that dude who had a goose thing?
He's still that douchebag.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for the call, Tina. We appreciate it. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. Sean, we've got Sean on the horn. What do you got for us, brother? Good morning.
What's going on, man? Just driving down to work one day, going about 65, maybe the speed limit, I don't know. But a turkey out of the blue flies right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I hit it with my passenger side quarter panel by the headlight.
Right.
It destroyed my whole grill, pushed my hood up into my windshield, broke my windshield. I mean, $8,000 worth of damage from the insurance company. And then every day going back and forth to work, just to get revenge, I'd run that dead turkey over in the road.
There you go. Man.
I got him back.
Yeah, you got him back. And you left a little something for his friends to think about, too.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's awesome. All right, thank you for the call, man.
Later.
Those other turkeys were like, he still thinks he's killing that bird. He doesn't realize he's
What
already
if he jumped up and said, "I'm fine"?
You ever been attacked by a jive turkey? Oh, that's the worst.
Man, that is the worst. Oh, man, who knew? The wild turkeys. Everybody's got a story.
They are. They're nasty. Nasty beasts.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
There's a TikTok video right now of a woman at a board meeting, a city board meeting. They're trying to rezone a city street.
Yeah.
And as meetings, town hall meetings tend to go, city planning commission meetings tend to go, this one goes a little off the rails. Check this out.
Ma'am, we're discussing the rezoning for the Portillos. Do you have any comments on that?
For what?
We're discussing the rezoning on 53rd for...
Well, I live on 63rd. Well, I don't like Facebook, and I don't
like the internet because I can't find a job. The library blocked my password. Now tell me, does that make any sense to you?
Ma'am, we're not here to discuss your personal life. I'm sorry. Do you have any comments about the rezoning?
No, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
No, sir.
Ma'am, we're here to discuss the baselines on 2112. What is this about the 8x10 papers you're playing? What is this? I'm sorry, I don't understand about the papers.
Why'd they block her password down at the public library? I'd like to get to the bottom of that.
Please remember, this is a government project. We need to refrain from corporate promotion and religious items. Who'd like to start?
I think we should put in the Bible.
Great.
My dog went to one of your parks and ate another dog's feces, and I'm going to sue you for that.
Yes. I've been eating lasagna and muffins every day of my life for 40 years, and I feel terrible.
Right.
What's so bad about corn syrup? It's natural. Corn's a fruit. Syrup comes from a bush.
Oh, boy.
Good.
Parks and Rec, they just nailed it, didn't they?
Fantastic.
Oh, my favorite town hall meeting audio still has to be, last year we rolled this out. Of course, they give a little invocation at some of these town hall meetings.
Sure.
And they spread it around the community. Anyone want to come in? The Baptists, the Lutherans, would you like to show up and give the invocation today, please? And all are welcome. Here we go with the invocation for the town hall meeting.
We will now move into the invocation. Today we have Mr. Jason Miller.
Thank you for letting us here. My name is Jason. I am an organizer and founder of Reno Satanic, and I am here to give the invocation today. In nomine de nostris Satanis Luciferi Excelsi, in the spirit of the unconquerable sun, the bringer of light and knowledge, we say, Shemham Farash, hail Satan.
Okay.
Ma'am, we're discussing the rezoning for the Portillos. Do you have any comments on that?
For what?
We're discussing the rezoning on 53rd for...
Well, I live on 63rd. Well, I don't like Facebook, and I don't like the internet because I can't find a job. The library blocked my password. Now tell me, does that make any sense to you?
Ma'am, we're not here to discuss your personal life. I'm sorry. Do you have any comments about the rezoning?
No, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Did you say library?
Library. They blocked my password. It was gerbil soup with vegetables. Do you know my password? Gerbil, capital G, gerbil soup with capital vegetables.
Well, now you do.
Somewhere there are some children looking for mom. Where did she? I don't know. Do you think she's not down at the library again? They blocked her password.
Man, that's tough. That is tough.
Can't find a job.
No.
The best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
Well, in the real Lake Winnipesaukee over last week during the long holiday, there was a sailing lesson happening. A local sailing association, there was an operator in a little boat, in a motorboat, not a sailboat. He was mid-lesson. He was teaching children how to sail. I'm sorry, the sailboat was. And dude reached for a tennis ball. He used it to teach turning on some level. As he went for it, one of the kids' little boats tipped over. That mast hit the instructor's throttle and sent him flying into the water and his boat in a spiral. Just a little motorboat in a spiral surrounded by sailboats, just with no one on board. And it's just doing these. It's like doing donuts in a parking lot, if you will. But on the lake. And, these things happen occasionally.
Yeah.
The difference with this one is there was video, and there was a 17-year-old kid who was not content to watch it go down. He and his dad hopped onto a jet ski and got right up next to the boat as it's circling very rapidly. And the kid times it perfectly, leaps from the jet ski, flies like Batman, lands in the boat, and disaster is averted.
To the rescue.
Here's the kid.
And I looked up and I could see this boat circling. And then, of course, looked at the boat and there's nobody in it. If that boat was circling like that, it could have hit somebody.
So he jumped on his boat, told me to get on the jet ski to go get the kids out of the way. It just came to me. I didn't really think. I just did it. I'm realizing what I did. It scared me a little bit, but it was fun.
Oh, man, that's Hollywood stunt movies. Or stuntman stuff right there, hopping off the jet ski. Now, I have on a couple of occasions thought I might attempt this out on Minnetonka, one of our fine lakes here in Minnesota, on the jet ski, jumping into the boat. Guys, I'm going to come up to next to your boat, and I'm going to jump from my jet ski into your boat.
Yeah.
But I wasn't quite drunk enough. I was drunk enough to have the idea, but not drunk enough to give me that third testicle I needed to make the leap. And because I got up there next to me, and you're going probably only about 15, 20 miles an hour, and I'm looking, I'm like, I'm not quite drunk enough. I think I would feel this when I came up short. So I've never done it, but good for that kid. And there were some other kids on the boat, right? Because the instructor got knocked off the boat by the freak accident, right?
Yep.
All right, that's some hero stuff there, kid. He's got a story when he gets back to school.
I like you being drunk enough to have the idea, but not drunk enough to realize you're not drunk enough to do it.
Right,
that's a good. It's like a dog chasing its tail sort of vibe.
That's probably why I'm still on Earth.
Not a lot of jet ski activity in my life. I have done the wave runner, the bigger ones, because I've done it on lakes. I've done it like in the ocean, and much harder, at least initially, because you got waves to deal with.
And I was talking about a jet ski. I was in fact on a wave runner.
Oh, okay.
When I was talking about doing that, there is a difference, and I just tend to call them. It's like the Kleenex, is the nose tissue.
But the first time I did a jet ski, that's the one where you are squat. You're not sitting. You're up on your feet.
Yes.
And you're standing. I did one of those in 1993. On the Atlantic coast in South Georgia, and on a wavy day, and I rode around on that thing for 30 minutes, and at the time of my life. And I am not exaggerating when I say, when I got off that jet ski, I could not walk. I kid you not. My legs were so fried. Every muscle in both of my legs was in a state of complete. Like my legs felt like they were made of steel, but they couldn't function. They were so overwrought and overmatched. And I was laying on the beach, and Rosemary's like, "Let's go." And I'm like, look at him, I'm like, I can't, I can't walk. So what are you talking about?
I gave it all, babe.
I go, I'm dead serious. I can't stand up. And she's like, it took her 5 minutes to accept that I wasn't trying to be funny. I'm like, there's nothing funny about me crawling without the use of my legs. I can't get. And then she stood me, helped me stand up, and I truly just fell down. Like my legs were in shock.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was still like playing basketball a lot then too. And I was like, I thought I was in bad shape. I'm not even in bad shape. I'm in whatever's way worse than bad shape.
You don't use the jet ski muscles usually. That's a whole different muscle group. And then you've got the adrenaline out there and the waves, and you're so focused and in it and having such a blast. And then, when you're done, your body, that adrenaline goes down and your body just shuts off those limbs.
I did a wave runner once in Miami, had a day off on tour, and me and my bass player and a member of our crew and one of the promoter staff, 4 of us got wave runners, Miami Beach. And we got on these wave runners. It was a very calm day. Easy. Those, bigger boat, bigger machine. We're sitting down. And Ray Compton, the tour accountant for the promoter, he looked at us. He goes, "Okay, guys, it's ocean chicken." And we're like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Just turn, go directly in a straight line away from the beach and see who will hold out the longest." not a smart thing for a bunch of dudes in a rock band in their late 20s on a day off in Miami. I'm like, I'm not chickening out. And I've told this story, and people think I'm exaggerating. 4 of us. Tear away, shoulder to shoulder to shoulder to shoulder in a straight line away from the water, and we're going and we're going and we're going. And when you see oil tankers off the shore just sitting out there, we went past an oil tanker.
Oh my gosh.
And when we finally stopped and turned around, we could barely, you could see buildings like giant hotels on the beach. No clue as to which one was ours or anything. We were miles offshore.
Freaky.
And all of a sudden, it went from we're cool to we were all half in the bag, of course, to do this. Terrified. What the hell did we just do? And to get back to shore, it felt like it took 30 minutes. Like, didn't even notice on the way out. We're like laughing, all right. And we got back, and as we're getting closer, and then the buildings are getting clearer, and we were like, okay, there's our hotel. We're way south of it, and we're all kind of angling back. And we turned back in. I mean, like we rented them for like an hour. The entire hour was one round trip out. We got back, seriously, and our time was up, and we were like, What the hell is wrong with us?
So you admitted you were terrified.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's cool.
All but soiled myself.
If you had run out of gas or there had been a mechanical failure, of course you're out past, you're in Riptide territory now. You would have ended up in Cuba, most likely.
If we're
on
lucky,
your way.
as opposed to heading over to Spain, North Africa.
Right, you are on your way. Growing up in lakes, I'm a Midwest kid, grew up on lakes, and I remember the first time I was out on a boat doing some deep sea fishing, so I'm on a boat. Mm-hmm. But I remember the first time I looked back and couldn't see shore. And I was like, I had no idea. No one ever explained to me that was going to be a freaky experience, but I was freaked out. And if I would have been on a wave runner, because I've conked out in wave runners more times than I can count, like 4 or 5.
Sure.
I mean, obviously I can count that, but I can't easily remember how many times I've just been out in the middle of Minnetonka waving boats down going, there's something wrong with this piece of crap that I borrowed from my buddy. It's not going anymore, and they toss me the old line, and tow me in. But out there in the ocean, man, that's a whole thing.
It's a whole nother thing.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
We always hear about things going up for auction. A lot of musicians, they say, I'm putting the guitars up, don't need them all. Blah, we're going to raise money for charity. You see wristwatch collections, artwork, of course, all kinds of auctions. A British woman's prized collection is up for auction and did not receive a single bid. Her prized collection of 163 bedpans.
Not used, I hope.
163 bedpans. Oh, they've been used. This woman, her name is Mary Jacobs. She started collecting them 40 years ago. In 1984, she walked into a Salvation Army and saw a bedpan for sale, and she bought it. And she said, I decided to keep buying more because, here's the quote, I just wanted to collect something different, and it snowballed, didn't it?
It was hooked.
163 bedpans. Not one bid. And she's surprised because she has said they're clean, washed, and in fantastic condition.
Says you.
Hey, guys, I went out with this gal last night, Mary. Things went really well. We went back to her place.
Yeah.
And, just walked through the door, and there it was, bedpans everywhere.
Everywhere.
I'd be confused.
Don't you think it's fascinating how the shape of bedpans has changed over the years? Look at this one. This was cut out of teak, isn't it? It's fantastic wood. Lasts forever. But it's for like a wide bottom, really, isn't it? And now look at this. This is one that Twiggy could have used, as skinny as she was. This is made out of plastic.
Oh, God bless her. I just found her. And there's one made out of ceramic. It looks kind of like it could be one huge pot bowl.
Oh, scratch resistant.
Yeah, right.
I don't like to use them. I just like to think about using them. I don't know. So it makes me feel warm inside. Here's 162 more bedpans.
Oh, honey, you're going to be buried with those. No one. Yeah, there's not one other freak out there.
Let's see. There's the names of some of these. The improved ideal bedpan. One is called, I'm not making this up, the douche slipper.
What'd you call me?
Yeah.
What a great
One's called the relax. One's just simply number 500.
Yeah.
I've got to go to the bathroom. Is it 500? Yeah, it might be. Here, use this one. Yeah. I mean, I've heard about going number 1 and number 2. I've never heard about going 500.
Have you guys ever used a bedpan? Is that too personal?
No.
It's not too personal. No, I never have.
No, I never have either. When I was in the hospital once with a broken back, I got to pee in they had a little pee thing. Yeah, right, exactly, like a tube, like a Pringle.
And how did we break our back?
That was a horse accident.
Oh.
I was just showing off on a horse, and the horse showed me.
Showed you. And you were how old?
I was probably like 22 or 3-ish, I guess.
Well, I'm retroactively very sorry to hear that. That's not. There's nothing cool about a broken back story.
No, it kind of sucked, I'll be honest with you. But I was in the hospital then. I only spent a week in the hospital, but the week I was in the hospital was like day 4 or 5, and the nurse comes in with a big bag and a hose and all this stuff. I'm like, hey, what's on the menu today? Because I got all sorts of leg rubs and foot rubs from nurses. I thought, this is cool, man. This isn't entirely bad. She goes, well, we're going to give you an enema today, Brian. I said, I don't what? Why would you do such a thing? And she said, well, because you haven't had a bowel movement in a while, and so this is how we do it.
Oh, boy.
Because my bedpan, I didn't want to go in the bedpan, and I couldn't get out of bed, but I did get out of bed every night at about 2 a.m. and go to the bathroom.
It's pee-pee time.
That's right. And then I'd get back in my little contraption and crank it back down and that whole thing. But so then I confessed. I said, all right, listen, I'll use the bedpan from now on. But then I was out of there before I had to use it.
Never used a bedpan, but I did have a horrific case, a little backed up after an injury. I broke both of my arms in the summer of 1986, and as I was leaving the hospital with not one but two arms in casts, the doctor gave me a prescription for Percodan or Percocet or Perca something.
Yeah, one of the perks.
Some really heavy duty perks. And he said, you're going to want to take this and don't, stay ahead of the pain and get on this. And he goes, and don't miss one. And just so you know, this is going to make you constipated for a few days. And I looked at him, he goes, and that's a good thing. And I was like, because... And he's talking to a kid with two arms and casts. He goes, you're going to need a few days to figure out how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he means wiping myself. And I'm now going back to infant status. And I was like,
Mom!
Okay, I know one thing. The summer I turned 21, I'm not having my ass wiped by anyone but me. And I had a few days, and trust me, it's amazing when you set your mind to how do I get all these fingers that are casted off to work in conjunction. And thankfully, I did figure that one out.
Thankfully, you were limber.
Yeah, get an old rug or something like that and just drag it across like the dogs do sometimes.
Never occurred to me.
I'm a thinker.
It would have relieved so much stress over those 3 days.
It would have felt good.
A lot of rug purchases, though, you'd have to make.
Well, you flip it over. Goods. First of all, you kind of, you get something wide enough, then you just start laying your streaks down. Then you have to flip it over.
Man, there was a whole bedpan summer at the Gorman house.
It's a bedpan summer.
One of my older brothers broke his pelvis, shattered it on both sides. I mean,
God, what's with you guys?
And he was in a hospital bed in the house, and that's just what was going on.
Yeah.
There was no germophobia allowed at the Gorman house. It's like if somebody makes a mess, you clean it up. By God, just get on with it.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. What I did was learn from my brother, which is don't climb towers to remove antennas and have one fall on you.
Nope.
Oh.
That was the lesson I learned.
Avoid that.
Yeah. The only funny button on that whole thing, my brother literally on the roof of a building in downtown Baltimore, a 50-foot tower, he and his boss climbed to the top of that tower actually to disassemble it as it had been improperly assembled. When they were at the 30-foot mark, the whole thing just fell on the roof of a tall story, 20-story building downtown or something.
Holy pucker.
And my brother was, as it fell, my brother was strapped to the side that it landed on him. His boss was on top of the tower, they're both strapped in. And it landed on him, and it bounced a few times, and right to the edge of the building, and it almost hit some power lines. It was like a crazy story.
Imagine if it hit the power lines.
Yeah. And so I'm just a kid in fourth grade going about my business, and this happens during the school day. And my parents get the call, and when they go to the hospital, this is 70s. There's no cell phones. No one's calling the school to tell the Gorman boys their older brother's in the hospital. I just walk home like it's any other day, and our neighbor's sitting on our front porch, Mr. Dunlap. And I'm like, why is Mr. Dunlap on the front porch? It's like Mr. Dunlap never has 2 cups of coffee at home. I was just so confused to see Mr. Dunlap on our front porch. And he goes, Stevie, I got to talk to you. There's been an accident downtown. And I'm like, what happened? And he goes, your brother Jim was on one of those towers with his boss, and it fell, and it landed on him. And it wasn't my brother Jim. It was my brother Tom.
Well, there's a lot of you.
And I thought, oh, my God, Tom tricked Jim into climbing a tower that fell on him. I literally thought he got him to do that. I was like, why would he do that? He goes, well, he was at work. No, but why would he put Jim on that tower? He goes, did I say Jim? I'm sorry. I meant Tom. Tom's in the hospital. And I had all the conflicting I didn't want anyone to be in the hospital, but I was mad at Tom for tricking Jim. And then suddenly I'm like, what do you mean Tom's in the hospital? Oh, no. And it was rough. Anyway, bedpan summer.
Bedpan summer.
Yeah, I'm working on a screenplay. It's been a work in progress since the mid-'80s.
Excited to see it, read it.
It's going to be great.
The best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
Well, I did actually see very long story short, I witnessed a brutal assault on a guy that I worked with in a kitchen at a restaurant, and he was attacked by a completely insane person with a tire iron. Ouch. And it was an awful thing, worst thing I've ever seen happen.
Yeah.
And afterwards, there were parts of this guy's arm and elbow, like kind of all over. It looked like a horror film.
Oh my gosh.
It really did look like this corner of the kitchen. There was so much blood and just stuff from my friend's arm.
Yeah.
And there was right on the wall. There was just one. And got when the investigators and the police, they're there doing their photos, and it was just this little white thing. It was like it was like the size of a small potato chip, just kind of stuck to the wall. And he said, "Oh, that's a chunk of bone."
Oh, you must have been so traumatized by that.
Pretty much. Yeah, it was shocking.
A health code violation.
Well, not to mention that. I mean, those twice baked potatoes all had to be thrown away.
How was the attackee?
The attackee,
deranged.
He survived barely. Lost so much blood. It was a real thing. Never got the full use of his arm back. I mean, it was
nerve damage.
A guy attacking him with a tire iron, and he was blocking all the shots with his arm at first.
Yeah, damn.
It was incredible.
What was the beef? A woman?
Yeah. No. The beef was the attacker had just been released from prison where he had been in for many years. He had parked his car in this is a family restaurant. He parked his car in the back parking lot at a time when we were closed. There's all these signs.
Yeah.
We're open from 11 to 2 and 5 to 8 or 5 to 9. If you are parked here not at those times, you will be towed. And he parked his car right next to that sign all afternoon. And I came in after school, and I said to the guy, Mark, our chef, I said, hey, there's a car out there. And not only was it parked at the time when it shouldn't have been, it was parked up against a tree. Like, he just hit a tree and got out and walked away. And it was an old beat-up, like...
Not doing so good his first day out.
Yeah, it was like a giant early 70s, four-door that was bigger than any station wagon today. And so anyway, the chef called the wrecker service, and they came over and towed the guy's car. And then an hour later, the back door of the kitchen opens, and this guy's standing there. And this is 1982. He's got a shirt, like a button shirt with a collar, but it's completely unbuttoned, so it's just exposing his chest. And then the sleeves were cut off, and he was sleeved out with tattoos in 1982. I'd never seen anything like that in real life before.
Pretty rare.
And he just ripped open the back door, and he just screamed, "Did you tow my car?"
Nope.
And I looked at him, and our chef goes, "Sure did." And he said, chef. Go get it at Jones Brothers. And the chef was a badass, former underwater welder, had been in the Marines. He was a tough guy. And the dude turned around. The guy looked him dead in the eye, and he said, I'm going to go get my car. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to kill you. And Mark said, I'm here till 9.
Thank you,
the guy
chef.
turned around and walked out, and I'm 16 years old, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
And our chef, Mark, he looked at me and he goes, man, that's David Rogers. He's been in prison. I went to high school with that guy. He's crazy.
Oh, he knew him.
Oh yeah, small town stuff.
Yeah.
And and then he walked outside. I said, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to get my gun. And he walked out to his truck, and he walked back in with a .357 Magnum, which is a large gun.
It's a big caliber.
It's big. And he had it there on the counter, and he said, oh, he'll come back. And I'm like, well, why don't we call the police?
I got my .357.
And I just remember thinking, like, this is how we handled it? What? I just stepped into a whole nother movie. This is not the script I read.
I'm going to wash some lettuce now.
And within 15, 20 minutes tops, the door opened. The guy came back with a tire iron. And Mark had his back to the door, and as the door ripped open, I just screamed, oh, Mark! And Mark spun and was able to get an arm up before that tire iron crushed his head in. And he took probably 5 or 6 full swat right to his left arm while grabbing the guy with his right arm. And then I was frozen. I've never had that.
They grabbed the .357 and shoot him.
Really wish I could have. I didn't move. I had that moment in life where, you just think there's that freeze or flight or whatever that thing is. And for all of 3 seconds, I just froze.
Right.
And then I just screamed. My dad and my brother were right in the next room, and they had come in, and we had told them what had happened in the interim. And I just screamed like, Daddy's back. And then they came bursting into the kitchen, and they beat the guy. They got the guy and put him in the hospital. I mean, it was like there was almost 2 dead guys in that kitchen before it was all said and done. And the whole thing was just beyond jarring and horrible.
I'm thinking of the poor couple sitting out in the booth waiting for their damn pizza.
Luckily, we weren't open for dinner yet. It was about 4:30, so there was still no one out there. Yeah,
need a palate cleanser here.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
the good news is I had just broken up with my girlfriend too. So there was that.
Oh, well,
it happens in threes like that.
What a story!
It was crazy. The full long give me 2 drinks and let me tell the whole story that's for another day. Maybe up in Brainerd later this year. I'll just regale us around the fire.
Yes, in the dark.
Oh, it's absolutely awful. I really didn't have no intention of going into all that today, but anyway, hey, crazy things happen sometimes.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
KP Anderson, very funny gentleman who is in studio with us right now. Good morning, sir.
Oh, my God. Minneapolis got Steve Gorman.
Go figure.
That is astounding.
It was a bidding war for the ages. They called, and I said, sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man. We're playing catch-up over here. KP and I met years ago at a Black Crowes gig. I have no recollection of ever having met the man, but I'm pretending to, and I think that's
you're
going
doing
well.
A great job.
Trying my best.
You really quickly name-dropped Bill Simmons, and when I actually know someone way more famous than you.
Well, he was there the same night. I just wanted you to remember that I remembered something about that encounter.
That night. Yeah, someone who's done well.
Minnesota born. What does that mean?
Whereabouts? Grew up in Cambridge, Minnesota, an hour north of here.
Okay.
And went to Hamlin University.
Very nice.
Started stand-up in Minneapolis in 1990.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Moved to L.A., did a whole bunch of writing and producing.
I'm well aware of that, man. You put your name on The Soup, which is one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, we had a good time doing that. It was 12 years, 50 weeks a year of me and Joel and some great people running around. Yeah.
12 years. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I imagine when you were putting that show together, like from the idea of let's cook something up. I mean, how many twists and turns did it take over 12 years you could have never imagined? I mean, every month must have been like, wait, we're still doing this? And where are we going now?
Yeah, and that was really by the end. It was like I always, not in talent level by any stretch, but I always, from what the job was, I always compared it to like the White Stripes. It's like you got to make these 2 same instruments sound different every. Like, how are we gonna make hay out of Rob Kardashian picking out socks this week? Like, what do we do?
And on one hand, the material brings itself to your door every day, but like you said, on the other hand, you're like, I still just got salt and pepper here. Got to spice it up somehow.
Yeah, and then we managed to we rebooted it. We did 700 episodes at E, and then we did 19 episodes at Netflix.
Okay, so 700 versus 19.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle was the magic number.
Okay,
what Joel and I always talk about. It was like somewhere we were toasty by the time we left E, and then we took like a year and a half, 2 years off, and then Paul Feig, who was my neighbor, we bumped into each other, and he used to guest on the show and loved the show.
Sure.
He was like, I figured we should make this man. Let's call Joel, and so we went up to my house and called Joel, and he was like, yeah, okay, and we called Netflix, and we wound up doing 19 episodes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All those years, so 12 years, 50 weeks a year. That doesn't leave a lot of time for stand-up.
No, and that was kind of the for a while. Like, I think from like at sort of the height of the show's popularity from like 2008 to maybe like 2010 or 11, Joel was touring doing stand up, and I would go out with him a lot. I'd go to the cool gigs.
Yeah.
Like I'd open for him if it was Carnegie Hall, if it was the Verizon Amphitheater in Dallas. Like those I'd go to.
Right.
If it was going to be, some little dinner theater in Phoenix, I'd be like, you knock him dead, buddy. I'm going to see my kid grow up.
That's going to be a great weekend, Joel. Yeah. Have a great time. Send a postcard.
Yeah.
So speaking of this kid, so you, a Minnesota guy, you move out to L.A., you get married, you have a kid, raised the kid in L.A.
Raised the kid in L.A.,
We pulled out when the kids were 4 and 2. We were like, I don't know if this is where we want their worldview to be formed.
Yeah, you probably saved way more money than I did too.
There was that too.
Yeah, there is no public school option in LA.
No, there's not.
And yeah, she did. She graduated. She's at Northeastern University in Boston now. And,
nice.
And that kind of we moved to the East Coast, moved to Greenwich, Connecticut in 22. And
escape from LA. Then.
Yeah, a little bit of it was her. I just remember we were driving through she was like 14, 15 years old, and we were driving through Hollywood and going strip mall and ugly apartment building and incongruous architecture and everything. She's looking out the window and she goes, "Dad, what do you think of LA?" And I was like, "It's a dump." And she goes, "Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah, that's glad to know we're on the same page here.
Yeah, so she loves Boston. She loves New England and the East Coast, and she just called one day and was like, "I'm staying here." Like she's a physicist. She's going after a PhD.
Wow.
And so she was like, I love the people. I love the I love the streets. I love everything about it.
Got it.
I'm staying on the East Coast, and my wife and I are like, "Oh crap, we don't never want to have another Sunday dinner with you." So
yeah, right.
Yeah,
sure.
So we packed up. We didn't go to Boston. We did not we're not helicopter parents. We're in Connecticut.
Understand that.
We're Chinese spy balloon parents is what we are.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. The difference is subtle but important.
We're in the atmosphere and you can see us, but you're going to need Sidewinder missiles if you feel like doing something about it.
That's exactly right. KP Anderson, you're at Acme tonight, 7 and 9:30. Tomorrow, 7 and 9:30. Of course, acmecomedycompany.com if you want to pick up tickets. So, like so many comics we've had on the show, Acme clearly, I would imagine, holds a pretty special place in your heart.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it is. Louis Lee, the owner, has been, not just to me, but to so many comics who've emerged from here. Like an incredible friend. He really was the guy, like, with no disparagement to any of the others, the Hanson brothers and the other people who ran stuff. Louis was, like, just such an incredibly supportive figure for us. And that club. What's crazy is I've been in town longer than I expected to. I came out and did a gig on the St. Croix River a couple weeks ago. Then my mom was having some health issues, so I just stayed through the time through these gigs. And I've been going down to a lot of the open mics around town. And I've been going like Sisyphus Brewing and all these other places. And the scene here, like when I was coming up, our scene was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was, we had Nick Swartzen was starting, and Maria Bamford and I started at the same time together, and Jackie Cation was coming up. Like a lot of great comics, a lot of the great guys who are still here, John DeBoer and Michael Thorne. There were so many great comics that were coming up. Now it's like, oh my God, it's huge, and they take it serious, and it's diverse as all get out, and it's like kind of built around this idea of funny rules. And the guys who are opening for me, Sean and Trevor, who are opening for me this week, are hysterical. There's so many great comics who are working their way up to something that it's kind of mind blowing.
That's pretty great. And as someone who's been observing that, and I would imagine when you moved into TV, in a weird way, maybe I'm making this I'm making all of it up. Maybe I'm right, though. When you're not in the clubs every night, but you have a steadier job doing TV, steadier in quotes, I guess. Yeah. It's probably easier to differentiate and discern, like, that kid's got something. You're not competing so much, maybe. You're not so knee-deep in it. I mean, I'm just looking at you as a comedy helicopter parent or the Chinese spy balloon parent now. You probably have a much quicker, man, that's good. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
I think it's that, it's kind of like that sailor can always spot another sailor. And,
yeah, sure.
And you see, like, there's people that you see who are figuring it out, but there's something there.
Right.
And you do kind of like in the position that I get to be in now on the other side of my job is I get the benefit of, going something there, let's watch, as opposed to something there, we got to jump, we got to meet that person right now.
Okay.
And I think that there's like being part of like the New York scene now too, and going out and doing clubs. It's a great, like, against all the other stuff that people talk about, cancel culture and
sure.
And all the silly, like, crowd rap versus doing your act to get YouTube viewers and TikTok followers. It doesn't really matter. It's a great time to be a comic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great to hear.
Yeah.
KP Anderson's with us on the KQ Morning Show at Acme tonight. 2 shows 7 to 9:30. Tomorrow night, 2 shows 7 to 9:30. So you grew up an hour north of the Twin Cities. Are you a long-suffering Vikings fan by chance?
Yes, sir, I am.
Boy, the eyes just went black as soon as I said that. I saw it in your face.
It's just, you know what's funny is like all my friends, like talking about Joel McHale, like Vikings Seahawks. It shouldn't be a rivalry,
right?
But there's that one game out in the cold, the missed kick, and he wanted to be able to taunt me for that. And I was like, dude, this isn't even an NFC championship game. You got no idea. You gotta cut so deep to hurt me anymore.
That's right.
It can't possibly a playoff game. They lose a playoff game. Great. I got 2 weeks with new stuff to do.
Yeah, the thick skin ain't because of the cold weather.
No, not at all.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people, I have a lot of friends from this area, and they all move away, and then a lot of them come back. I mean, there is just such a, when you were in LA, did you find yourself thinking a lot about Minnesota in a way you didn't expect to? Because everybody I know in LA from the Twin Cities, there's a lot of Twin Cities talk.
Yeah, it is. It's a really weird thing. Like for a while, I've been writing a novel that takes place up on Leech Lake in Walker, Minnesota, and eventually someday I'm going to finish it.
Okay.
But it's one of those things that like I never realized how much I thought about it. But I came back here to go up to Leech Lake. My family used to have a cabin up there and stay for a couple weeks to just kind of roll around, get the feel and the vibe again. And it's everything about like literally the second the plane touches down, the air feels different.
Yeah.
Like everything sort of like all of the sense memory just starts dialing into you, and it's such a great place to grow up. You know, it's such a great place to be from. And it still pulls at me. When we decided to move to Connecticut, I was pushing hard for back here.
Were you?
And and my wife was like, I'm not doing that winter. She's from Encino, California. Like she was like, I'm not.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah, I'll spot you an East Coast winter if I get to be a little closer to my kid, but we are not doing Minnesota winter. And but yeah, I still like 17 days here. And, you know, I've been here 17 days with 4 shirts and staying at my mom's house until I moved into a hotel the other night. And like it is really, I immediately sink back in. And I go, God, I love it here.
Let's go back to the novel. Is this by chance about a comedian who is also a serial killer?
No.
Damn.
But by the way, the first one that I ever tried to write, was that it?
Was that it?
That was it, yeah.
Yeah?
I remember I was in like Bismarck, North Dakota, and I was just feeling vile.
Sure.
And I was like, what if I killed people after the show? How would that make me feel?
I used to think I had the perfect, as a touring musician, I had the perfect color for 2 jobs. 1, serial killer, but 2, like CIA operative, spy.
Absolutely.
I have a reason to be in all these places.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Like, just like the opening act, what I kind of wrote on, nobody ever remembers the drummer. So, like, hell with it. You can go do it.
Heck yeah, of course, man. Slide in, slide out. I mean, unless you're the aforementioned Meg White, and then and everyone's paying attention.
Exactly.
But it's much easier.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there a novel? Was there ever a screenplay? Was it just TV, or did you ever think about throwing a movie together?
I've written a couple of screenplays. Nothing's gotten the closest I got was our pal Jay Moore a long time ago. I wrote a piece for him called "Playing the Progressive," which was about a guy who goes out to Vegas to try to win. Like he's got a surefire way to win a progressive jackpot, and it turns into kind of like an after hours overnight thing. And Jay loved that script. I was doing more sports with him on ESPN at the time, and he loved the script, and we optioned it, and we had it kind of set up to shoot. And then Jay went all Jay on us.
As things happen. Well, he's got the financing in place now.
Yeah, he does, right?
Since he's married to the Lakers.
Yeah, I should give him a shout.
Yeah. You know what? Let's get my name on there. Let's go produce a film together. Hey, Jay, we got this idea. Remember this thing, the Progressive?
By the way, you know what he did to me? Like, I didn't know he was dating Jeannie when they first started dating.
Okay.
And a buddy of mine who was renting a house for me in L.A. was throwing a party for his kid.
Okay.
And Jay was there, to a mutual friend, and birthday party for his kid, and so I show up, and Jay, and I'm just kind of like wandering the property, making sure the guy isn't doing anything. And I turn the corner, and Jay's standing there with Jeannie, and he goes, "Hey, KP, you want to meet my girlfriend?" I was like, "Why is the owner of the Lakers standing in my backyard? Like, what?"
Yeah, right.
And why is she with you?
Yeah, I said the same thing to him when I heard they were together. I actually texted him, and I was like, "What? How did this rumor get started?" and I was dead serious, and he's like, "Dude, we've been dating for like 6 months." I was like, "Wow,
it's so," and she's such a delight. Like, I think everybody on the planet would agree she has so many more options than the man that she married. So many more.
He would agree. He would sign off on that probably first and with the most veracity.
Exactly.
KP Anderson, you're at Acme tonight and tomorrow night. 2 shows, 7 to 9:30. AcmeComedyCompany.com. If you and I go out right now, no warm-up, free throws, I give you 10. How many are you going to hit?
3.
Nice. I like an honest man.
3, yeah.
3.
Yeah, I'm a hockey player first. And so,
okay.
baseball,
From the far blue line, no one in net, how many are you putting in there?
Far blue line, no one in net, and I don't have to slap shot
Street shoes?
Yeah, street
shoes. No skates. Just walk out there.
10 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, I'm throwing them down.
Strong.
Yeah.
Lefty by chance?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Glad we could work that out.
Yeah.
So go to Acme tonight and tomorrow night. KP's going to be giving a wrist shot demonstration.
That's right.
It's going to be fantastic.
That's right. From the stage, real pucks.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.